Daredevil Born Again, Episode 7. Art for art's sake. What kind of art are we going to make? Let's talk about it. All right, so we're back, and basically Daredevil is starting to ramp back up again. We are getting into the meat and potatoes of after the attack by Muse on Angela Del Toro. Find out that she has lost about 2,500 milliliters of blood and she is needing to recover, while Kingpin is being informed that Daredevil has indeed returned, and he has got some ants in his pants about it. He is upset. But this actually helps him because he wants to really get his task force out there. And this gives him a reason to really deploy his task force in force even more than just Muse. Because that's who Daredevil went after, was Muse. So with that being said, we literally just kind of get into it with Daredevil kind of trying to, wash off the blood. And his injuries are being very well noticed by Heather Glenn, the psychologist lady, his girlfriend. And she's like, what's happening to you? I'm bumping into things online. They reassure each other of their love for each other. And she's trying to, of course, kind of teach him like, hey, yo, you're boiling over. You gotta let this it's a process. You gotta work through it. And they're trying to have a moment, and they managed to diffuse it with some humor towards the end of it and stay on even keel as far as their relationship is concerned. Angela was able to remember a few things. She remembers Daredevil was there that saved her and some of this stuff that involved in the blood, but she doesn't remember too much else. It looks like she's just kind of having nightmares about it, though. Cherry, who sees that Daredevil is back, is not too happy to talk to Matt about everything because it's like, hey, you said you were done with this. Now you want to kind of tear this up again? Like, why? Why are you doing this again? You do not need to do this again. But it's a problem, and Cherry's just like, I'm not here for it, and he's upset about it. Of course, the lawyers are kind of upset because Matt's been taking leave more or less to go do other things and not really be there focusing on the cases because he's getting back into his Daredevil bag. That we find out that the name of Muse, who had escaped, is Bastion Cooper. And this is something that was not done in the comics. In the comics, he never really had a name. That he was always just the Muse. And this is kind of his origin story of him forgetting his name. He was a rich kid named Bastion. And again, he ends up kind of trying to discover himself through his artwork. That's something that he's kind of been working throughout the series so far as we see. He's trying to figure that stuff out. While that's going on, other things are happening with Luca trying to talk to Vanessa about getting set up to like, hey, we gotta, change things because it seems like Fisk is just not doing what's best for business. We're not getting paid our money. We're not eating like we used to eat like that. So he's talking to her about, hey, we probably need to do something about this. And she's like, are you asking me for help? Or are you asking me for permission? He's like, whatever you want it to be. So I was just like, oh, like this is how we doing it. Like this is what's going down. Like, Luca ain't playing no games. Luca wants to kind of take over and really be in charge if Kingpin's not going to do anything that needs to be done, which is a problem. But we see Kingpin, who is still upset about how his entire empire was taken down by Daredevil, and he's starting to relive that more and more once he finds out that Daredevil is back. So that is a big issue for him. And while Buck is trying to say, hey, be careful about, you have all these resources, you need to be careful about it, that's further sets Kingpin up like, hey, I need to really utilize my task force and get them. So he puts them basically on the hunt for Muse and probably subsequently Daredevil without them really knowing about it, because where you go find one, you're probably going to find the other. So in that process, we see Muse, who is talking, and we get his, more his background. Again, Bastion Cooper, he was taught Taekwondo. He didn't really want to learn it. There was a famous Coach Lee who taught him this and was actually like moved into the house to teach him this. And his body was ended up being found later on, and of course nobody did anything about it. Now, of course, because Ashton Cooper got money, he is a rich kid, and parents probably covered everything up so that it would be seen. But Dr. Glenn is starting to see all this stuff because even when he came to get his book signed and saying that, you're really important to me, we see more and more about what the importance was. It's because she was inadvertently, you know, teaching him to be himself and stuff. And that's what he was getting from it. And Muse is his true self, not Bastion Cooper, which is why he drops the name and just becomes Muse. Don't call me that anymore. That is his thing, which kind of would pick up where the comics are, where we just know of Muse as Muse and no one else. So I really like how that was done. That was done very good, but I don't like how it necessarily ended with Muse. So with that being said, Muse, of course, Heather has a realization, and basically he attacks her and knocks her out and ends up getting into his Muse get up. Matt ends up, going to do some searching, finds out that there's various pictures and drawings in Muse's lair, even after the cops have already checked this, and apparently they didn't check it very well. They checked it and found out that, yes, there's stuff here, but whatever. Daredevil goes and looks at it, who's blind, by the way, and feels the drawings and is able to feel the different permeations of drawing, which he just felt her face earlier when they were having a moment, and realizes that he's going after Heather and he needs to go save her. So he rushes off to go do that. Is like, I need to protect her. While this is going on, Kingpin has already said, Task Force A, you got the green light. Go do what you do. You need to go take out Muse and get this done. While this is going on, we have Daredevil breaking into the building to go save Heather. And now a fight ensues. And they are scrapping. Muse in his gear. He's already, cut her, and he's trying to get blood out. And he's spreading out this big tarp canvas like he's about to paint. He's about to make his biggest masterpiece that he can. And the whole time she's trying to stop it. She's fighting back. She's not just, gonna roll over and take it. She headbutts him. She does everything she can. I mean, she already hit her head against the door one time. Freaking, it's probably reinforced right now. So she's like, yo, whatever. And she's fighting back. Daredevil breaks in and gets to scrapping with Muse, and they go at it. Like I was hoping to see, now that we talked about his Taekwondo background, I was hoping to see more of Taekwondo fighting and stuff like that, which we see a little bit more fighting from Muse, but he is eventually overpowered and taken out by Daredevil. And the fact is that the canvas was laid out, and that was meant for Heather. Fact is that Daredevil shot his grappling hook through Muse to yank him back over, and we see the blood spray and stuff like that. We see that it is now Daredevil who is using Muse to paint the canvas, which is a very poetic kind of scene for Muse, who's been doing this all over town to 60 plus victims. So seeing this kind of go that way, as far as the beating goes, was absolutely well played. The only thing I didn't like is that at the end of it, Heather managed to kind of snap, and she took the gun that Muse had, and she ended up, ending Muse right there on the canvas. And we get a nice freaking shot of that, something that I can't actually show due to YouTube's guidelines, but because I would actually use that for the thumbnail. But yeah, she took him out with that. And that's where I don't agree with this, because we just got this great telling of Muse and his setup and stuff like that, and now he is gone. He's been eliminated. So I was hoping to have him kind of tease throughout the whole thing and maybe run away again. And then he kind of taunts her throughout till eventually he gets a chance to attack her again, and then kind of have it go from there. But they needed to up the story more or less to kind of set up for the task force to come in, and that was what whole Muse's jumping off point was to get the task force involved. And the task force, who did nothing but break in after Daredevil was already gone and stabilize Heather after she was bleeding, while talking to her in his Matt voice, more or less, not his Daredevil kind of thing, kind of set himself up for failure in that one. But they came in, and Fisk came in and was like, hey, yo, what was going on? And North was like, yo, he was here. And Fisk was like, no, he wasn't. You were here. So he ends up having a press conference, and all the outlets and stuff saying, all the major news outlets are saying that, it was the task force that took down Muse, and they held up the mask, and it was all because of Fisk's task force that he put together. While as some smaller outlets and stuff like that are saying that, hey, it'd be people's personal accounts and everything, saying that no, Daredevil was there, he showed up, but they're trying to drown that out. And that's where we get Daniel, I believe. He comes in, and BB, who he spilled all the secrets to, he decides it's time for some get back. He's like, you need to, make a choice right now. You only got a few seconds to make it before you find out how crappy your life can be or how good your life can be. Daredevil was not there. It was the team of kingpins that took him down, that took down Muse. That's what you need to write. That's what you need to put in your blogs and your stories, whatever the case be. It needs to be nothing different. And that's where she left off at. And we cut the freaking scene on that one for her because now she's got to make a decision. We don't know what she's going to make. Most likely she's going to make a decision to save her own skin because she does not want to die in any sense of the word. But she put herself in a bad situation because she took advantage of him and now he's taking advantage of her. Not a good look either way, but she's royally kind of screwed on this particular avenue. And now she possibly has to be in Kingpin's pocket until someone can stop Kingpin and get rid of all that. So that's what's going on with that. We end up seeing it kind of closed out with, we see Daredevil trying to talk to Heather and sort of that, and she's recapping everything, and she's like, someone spoke to me, and she's kind of remembering things, but she's upset because she knows that she took out Muse, and it's kind of messed her up and sort of that. But she remembers hearing someone talking to her, and again, it was Matt. He was talking like Matt instead of being more Daredevil and just being quiet and just stabilizing her and getting out of there. He's trying to care for her. Which, if you haven't told her your secrets and stuff yet, what's going on, she can't know yet. You're putting her in more danger with her knowing, but eventually you're going to put her in danger either way, just being with you. Because again, you can't hide this stuff. If Kingpin knows you care for something, he'll probably use it to take you out, destroy you. So their relationship is probably going to be on a little bit of a rocky footing from there. But we also see Kingpin, who is now celebrating his victory and having a nice dinner. We see Luca get texted the address from Vanessa about, hey, he's here, he's alone. Go do what you need to do. And Luca walks in very confidently, pistol in hand, and is like, yo, I'm finna take him out and I'm finna take over the show. I'm finna run this and so like that. And as soon as he goes to raise it, bam, done. I thought it was Bullseye for a minute, but it was actually Buck. Buck standing in the shadows waiting and took care of that. And then, of course, Kingpin's like, hey, ask Vanessa if she would like me to bring her home some dinner. So like that. So what that could be is either freaking, with talking with some of my guys from the live stream, so like that, was Vanessa's phone tapped and he just found out and he just asked me to bring her dinner or what? What was the deal? What side of the fence is she on? I'm pretty sure that she told him what was going on so he could take the guy out, because I think she's smart enough to know, like, you don't cross him, because when he gets mad, he gets mad. And the thing is, he would never hurt her. He's not going to do anything to hurt her. But, I don't know if she wants to take too many chances with that and test those waters. So I think she kind of gave up Luca to get taken out, and now she can kind of run the business more she sees fit without him kind of in the way, trying to mess things up, because he keeps messing things up. And that's where we kind of cut. That's where we fade to black. This is a really good episode. I would give this an 8 out of 10. This was solid. I don't reason to give it 8 out of 10 because I don't really care the way Muse was taken out. I think I didn't mind the way he's taken out, but I think that he should have been here a little bit longer. But other than that, it was solid. Muse's entire backstory and character, the way the character was written, was beautiful. I absolutely enjoyed that. And I think we are getting to the Dark Devil point at some point in time, because I think Matt is going to suffer another huge loss in his life, which is going to break him even further and send him down that spiral. So I don't think Heather's going to make it. And I think Dark Devil is going to emerge shortly after. That is my prediction. That is what I think so far. If you enjoyed everything so far, please make sure you hit that little red subscribe button. We appreciate everybody for tuning in, talking to us. So that we are having a great time here. And I will continue to watch these next 2 episodes, tell you what I think before we go on break, and we'll get into some anime and a few other things during the month of April. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.